A nation divided, the Nigeria-Biafra War. This conflict, also known as the Nigerian Civil War, was a significant event that shaped the nation's history and left an indelible mark on its people. The Nigeria-Biafra War was a dark chapter in Nigerian history. It was a time of immense suffering, loss and devastation that affected millions of lives. It lasted from 1967 to 1970. During these 3 years, the country was engulfed in a brutal conflict that saw widespread violence and destruction. The war was a result of many complex issues. These included political instability, ethnic tensions, and economic disparities that had been simmering for years. These issues had been brewing for years. The tensions between different ethnic groups, particularly the Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, were exacerbated by colonial legacies and post-independence struggles for power. The war left millions dead and displaced. Families were torn apart, and entire communities were uprooted, leading to a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. The war was a tragedy for all involved: the loss of life, the destruction of homes and infrastructure, and the psychological trauma left deep scars on the nation. It is important to understand the causes of this conflict. By examining the historical, social, and political factors that led to the war, we can gain valuable insights into the challenges that Nigeria faced. By learning from the past, we can hope to build a better future. Education and awareness are key to preventing such conflicts from arising again. A future where such horrors are never repeated. The resilience and determination of the Nigerian people are crucial in fostering peace and unity. The war's legacy still affects Nigeria today. The memories of the conflict continue to influence the nation's politics, society, and culture. It is a reminder of the human cost of conflict. The memorials and graves serve as poignant reminders of the lives lost and the suffering endured. It also highlights the importance of unity and understanding. By coming together and promoting dialogue, Nigerians can work towards a more harmonious and prosperous future. The shadow of empire, British colonialism in Nigeria. The story of Nigeria's colonial past is a complex and multifaceted one, marked by both exploitation and transformation. The British Empire, in its quest for global dominance, left an indelible mark on the Nigerian landscape and its people. To understand the war, we must look back at the colonial period. The roots of many modern conflicts can be traced back to the decisions made during this era. The British, driven by economic interests and strategic considerations, imposed their rule over Nigeria, fundamentally altering its social and political fabric. Britain ruled Nigeria for many years. Their administration was characterized by a mix of direct and indirect rule, where local leaders were often co-opted into the colonial system. This created a dual system of governance that sometimes led to confusion and conflict. They brought together many different ethnic groups under one nation. This artificial amalgamation of diverse communities, each with its own unique traditions and governance structures, laid the groundwork for future tensions. These groups had their own languages, cultures, and religions. The British often failed to understand or respect these differences, leading to policies that were sometimes insensitive or outright harmful to local customs and traditions. The British did not address these differences. Instead, they implemented policies that often exacerbated existing divisions. Their focus was primarily on resource extraction and maintaining control, rather than fostering unity or understanding among the diverse Nigerian populace. They often favored some groups over others. This preferential treatment sowed seeds of discord, as certain ethnic groups were given more power and resources while others were marginalized. This favoritism created deep-seated resentment and mistrust among the different communities. The legacy of these colonial policies is still felt today as Nigeria continues to grapple with ethnic tensions and conflicts that have their roots in the colonial era. When Nigeria gained independence in 1960, it inherited these problems. The new nation was a patchwork of different ethnicities and cultures, each with its own aspirations and grievances. The challenge of forging a unified national identity was immense. The colonial legacy cast a long shadow over Nigeria. The structures and systems put in place by the British continued to influence the country's political and economic landscape long after independence. The struggle to overcome this legacy has been a defining feature of Nigeria's post-colonial history. It created a fragile nation. The early years of independence were marked by political instability, economic challenges, and social unrest. The new leaders had to navigate a complex landscape, balancing the needs and demands of a diverse population, a nation ill-prepared for the challenges of independence. The legacy of British colonialism left Nigeria with deep divisions and a fragile political structure. The journey to build a cohesive and prosperous nation has been long and arduous, marked by both setbacks and progress. Seeds of discord, ethnic tensions in a new nation. Three major ethnic groups dominated Nigeria: the Hausa-Fulani, the Igbo, and the Yoruba. The Hausa-Fulani were predominantly Muslim and located in the north. The Igbo, largely Christian, resided in the southeast. The Yoruba, with a mix of Christian and Muslim faiths, occupied the southwest. These groups competed for power and resources. This competition led to tensions and mistrust. The situation was a powder keg waiting to explode. Black gold, uneven riches, oil and economic disparity. The discovery of oil in Nigeria brought both hope and problems. It had the potential to bring prosperity to the nation. However, the oil wealth was not distributed evenly. Most of the oil was found in the southeast, the Igbo heartland. This led to resentment from other groups who felt marginalized. The uneven distribution of oil wealth exacerbated existing tensions. It created a sense of inequality and injustice. The oil boom, instead of uniting the nation, became another source of division. It fueled the flames of resentment and conflict. Section 5. A house divided, political instability and corruption. Nigeria's early years after independence were marked by political instability. The different regions struggled for power, corruption was rampant, and elections were often rigged. The government was unable to provide basic services to its people. This led to frustration and anger. The political elite seemed more interested in enriching themselves than in serving the nation. This created a climate of mistrust and resentment. Section 6. In January 1966. The coup that ignited the blaze. In January 1966, a group of army officers, mostly Igbo, staged a coup. They overthrew the civilian government. The coup plotters assassinated several high-profile politicians, including the Prime Minister. The coup was seen by many in the north as an Igbo attempt to seize power. Fear and anger spread throughout the country. The fragile peace was shattered. The coup, though intended to address the country's problems, had the opposite effect. It deepened the divisions and set the stage for a bloody confrontation. Section 7, July 1966. Retaliation and the descent into chaos. In July 1966, northern soldiers retaliated with a counter-coup. They killed many Igbo soldiers and civilians. The counter-coup unleashed a wave of violence against the Igbo people living in the north. Thousands were killed in massacres. Many more fled to the southeast for safety. The country was on the brink of collapse. The cycle of violence and revenge had begun. The country was spiraling towards a full-blown civil war. Section 8. The price of division, consequences of the war. On May 30th, 1967, the Igbo-dominated eastern region seceded from Nigeria. They declared themselves the independent Republic of Biafra. This declaration led to the Nigeria-Biafra War. The war was a tragedy for all involved. Millions of people died, mostly from starvation and disease. The war had a devastating impact on the economy and infrastructure of the region. The war left deep scars on the Nigerian psyche. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of division and hatred. Section 9. Remembering Biafra, Lessons for a Fragile Peace. The Nigeria-Biafra War, which lasted from 1967 to 1970, was a defining moment in Nigerian history. It was a brutal conflict that claimed the lives of over 1 million people, leaving scars that are still felt today. The war was fought between the government of Nigeria and the secessionist state of Biafra, which was predominantly inhabited by the Igbo people. The conflict was rooted in ethnic, political, and economic tensions that had been simmering since Nigeria gained independence from Britain in 1960. The war serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of unity in a diverse nation. It underscores the need for continuous efforts to foster understanding and cooperation among Nigeria's numerous ethnic groups. The lessons learned from this dark chapter in history are crucial for building a more harmonious and inclusive society. Even though the war ended in 1970, its legacy continues to shape Nigeria today. The post-war period was marked by efforts to rebuild the nation and heal the wounds inflicted by the conflict. However, the challenges of reconciliation and nation-building remain ongoing. The war highlighted the deep-seated issues that needed to be addressed to prevent future conflicts. The war taught us the importance of dialogue, tolerance, and understanding. It showed that open communication and mutual respect are essential for resolving differences and fostering a sense of national unity. Community leaders and citizens alike have since worked tirelessly to promote these values through various initiatives and programs aimed at bridging divides and building trust. The conflict also highlighted the need for equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. The disparities in wealth and development among different regions of Nigeria were a significant factor in the tensions that led to the war. Addressing these inequalities is crucial for ensuring long-term peace and stability. Efforts to improve infrastructure, education, and healthcare across the country are steps in the right direction. By learning from the mistakes of the past, Nigeria can build a more just and equitable society. This involves not only addressing economic disparities, but also fostering a culture of inclusivity and respect for all citizens, regardless of their ethnic or religious background. The progress made in recent years is a testament to the resilience and determination of the Nigerian people. A society where all citizens feel a sense of belonging is the ultimate goal. This vision can be achieved through continued efforts to promote unity, celebrate diversity, and ensure that every Nigerian has a voice in the nation's future. Cultural events, community gatherings, and educational programs play a vital role in fostering this sense of belonging and shared identity. The memory of Biafra should serve as a reminder of the consequences of division and conflict. It is a poignant chapter in Nigeria's history that should never be forgotten. Memorials, museums, and remembrance events help keep the memory alive and provide opportunities for reflection and learning. A reminder that unity is strength, and that by standing together, Nigeria can overcome any challenge. National celebrations and unity rallies are powerful symbols of this collective strength and this shared commitment to a peaceful and prosperous future. Division only leads to suffering, as evidenced by the countless lives lost and the devastation wrought by the war. It is a lesson that must be heeded to prevent history from repeating itself. By embracing unity and working together, Nigeria can build a brighter future for all its citizens.